Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we have here is a 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis LS Premium. This Grand Marquis is painted in gold ash metallic. It does have Secura code. On the remote fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, panic, and trunk release. The front door panels have storage, your power trunk release, power windows, locks, and mirrors. Both front seats are fully powered with two-way power lumbar support, and they're also two-stage heated, controls for that on the door panels. It has the medium parchment interior color scheme, and this LS does have leather seat upholstery. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start up the engine. Mercury was a historic division of Ford that existed for over 7 decades until its demise in 2010. Bridging the gap between the Ford and Lincoln brands, the upmarket Mercury brand produced some truly iconic cars during its lifetime. Mercury's longest-running and best-selling model of all was this, the Grand Marquis. It was Mercury's flagship full-size sedan and was built from 1975 to 2011. Mercury first started using the name Marquis back in the late 60s, and for 1975 they came out with a top-of-the-line trim of the Marquis known as the Grand Marquis. For '83, the Marquis downsized to a mid-size car, leaving the Grand Marquis as its own model, becoming Mercury's sole full-size sedan. While the smaller Marquis was replaced by the Ford Taurus-based Mercury Sable for '86, the full-size Grand Marquis stuck, and the rest was history. In 2011, Mercury produced its final vehicle, and it no doubt was a bittersweet moment when that last 2011 Grand Marquis rolled off the assembly line. From 1979 to 2011, the Grand Marquis rode on Ford's famous Panther platform. This old-school rear-wheel drive body-on-frame platform was built for 32 years, and for the majority of its lifespan consisted of the Ford Crown Victoria, Mercury Grand Marquis, and Lincoln Town Car trio. The Crown Vic was the basic entry-level model, with countless of them being used as taxis and police cars, regularly enduring hundreds of thousands of miles of use and abuse, cementing the Panther platform's legacy when it came to reliability. The Grand Marquis was more of an elegant and upscale highway cruiser, usually donning chrome, wood, and leather, sometimes even a vinyl top. The town car was the Cadillac-fighting luxury car that floated down the road, coddling its occupants in supple comfort. And that's not even getting into the Mercury Marauder, which was a muscle car version of the Grand Marquis that was sold briefly in the 2000s, with a following of its own. As for the 2004 Grand Marquis, like the one in this video, the model was just coming off a big 2003 update for the Panther lineup, which had overhauled the chassis and underpinnings, and also updated the exterior and interior a decent bit. Trims for the '04 Grand Marquis included GS, GS Convenience, LS Premium, and LS Ultimate. Your sole engine, transmission, and drivetrain combo was a 4.6-liter V8, a 4-speed auto, and rear-wheel drive. Opting for the handling package added dual exhausts, tweaked the suspension a bit, and also gave it a bump in power, 224 to 239 horses to be exact. In the instrument cluster, we have 5 analog gauges, which are your speedometer front and center. You have your fuel gauge and voltage gauge. On this side, you have your temperature and oil pressure gauges. And how many miles does this thing have on it? A whole 28,000. Yeah, that is insane. But anyways, the hazard switch is on top of the steering column. It has a 2-spoke design, leather-wrapped and multifunctional steering wheel. On either side, you'll find the controls for your cruise control. and the steering wheel is tilt only. The parking brake is foot operated. You have your traction control toggle button along with the controls for your power adjustable pedals, your panel dimmer, climate vent for the driver, your exterior lighting switch, and on this side is your high beam, turn signal, and wiper stalk. Column mounted gear shifter. This button is to toggle your overdrive. Going down the center of the interior, you have your central climate vents. Right here is your whole radio head unit. It is AM, FM with a CD player and a cassette player. Below that, you'll find a set of single-zone automatic climate controls. You have your fan speed dial, your off and auto modes, different zones, air conditioning, temperature, and you can just use this button to show your outside temperature. Right here we have two cup holders, along with a lighter and ashtray or storage and power outlet. And you also have a 12-volt power outlet right here. And you do have a front bench seat, so you can sit 3 people across. You have center armrests. And the glove box is lockable. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and lights, as well as auxiliary visors. Auto-dimming rear view, and on the overhead console, you have your overhead lighting, garage home link, and you have a compass. Grab handle for the front passenger and rear passengers. And what can I say? This is a showroom new, ultra low mileage, pristine specimen of a Panther. I mean, these are some of the greatest cars that have ever been built. Not much to say that hasn't already been said. Absolutely beautiful vehicle. I love this one. Has the nice leather seats, heated. And as someone who's no stranger to driving one of these, they just drive great. I mean, you have the nice low-end torque of the V8. It's not crazy high performance, but you get the low-end torque. You know, it rides smooth. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is automatic down. The standard rims on LS models were these 16-inch 9-spoke alloys. Powering the Grand Marquis is Ford's modular 4.6-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. It has an iron block, aluminum heads, single overhead camshafts, and 2 valves per cylinder. Without the available handling package, horsepower is rated at 224 at 4,800 RPM, and torque is rated at 275 pound-feet at 4,000 RPM. That power is sent to the rear wheels via a 4-speed automatic transmission with low gear selection. Running on regular unleaded with a 19-gallon fuel tank, updated EPA estimates are 15 mpg in the city and 23 mpg on the highway. It has an independent short and long arm front suspension and a solid axle multi-link rear suspension. The car has 4-wheel disc brakes. Curb weight is roughly 4,100 pounds. Fuel caps on the driver's side. Both front seats have map pockets on the backs. Rear passengers do get their own center armrest with 2 cup holders. Coat hooks on either side. Space back here, I'm about 6'1" with the driver's seat in a pretty comfortable driving position for myself. And if you see my videos on a couple other Panther body cars, you might expect, oh, it's a full-size sedan, it's going to have a cavernous limousine-like back seat. It's not actually the case. Legroom and footroom is actually just okay. I guess it has to do with the fact that this is an old-school platform. Like, the chassis, even though this was redesigned numerous times, the core platform architecture dates back to 1979. So it's old school. Old school vehicle, and they really, you know, after they redesigned it in the 90s, they pretty much didn't change it they changed it very little up until 2011 when they quit making these. But nonetheless, it is still a full-size sedan, so it ain't uncomfortable in the slightest. It's still, you know, your nice comfortable leather bench seat. It's not, I'm not saying it's small at all, it's just not quite as cavernous as you might expect, but nonetheless, it's still a full-size sedan, regardless, and it's still a comfortable back seat. Single exhaust. Trunk space in the Grand Marquis is 20.6 cubic feet. Another plus of these old school sedans, nice big trunk. But anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2004 Mercury Grand Marquis. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.